What's up everyone? My name is Kelsey. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Friday and it's the start of a new vlog. So it's Labor Day weekend. It's a long weekend. I have a lot of reading to do, so I figured it would be fun to talk about what I'm reading. Of course, I forgot my book in the other room, so I can't even hold it up. I worry about myself. So I just recently started The Beast Player by Nihoko Yuhashi. I hope I'm saying that right. I did look it up. Translated by Kathy Hirano. This is I think it's Japanese. Yeah, the original book is in Japanese. It is a young adult fantasy about this community where there are kind of like dragons. The Toda is what they're called. And they like ride these dragons into battle and you have to use these whistles in order to control them. But after the Toda end up dead from some mysterious illness, her mom, who is in charge of caretaking for the they're serpents. Who is in charge of caretaking for the serpents, I believe sentenced to death. I haven't gotten that far yet, but it says punished in the description. So I assume she dies and her daughter is sent away. So when her daughter is sent away, she slowly realizes that she can communicate with these serpents and can control them in that way. So I don't know, the story goes from there. She's like special and powerful. It sounds really interesting. I'm actually reading this for school. It's for my multicultural literature for children and young adults class. And this one sounded really interesting to me, and I very rarely read translated work, so I thought this was a good opportunity to give it a shot. I'm also reading, let's see, I have my Goodreads open because of my terrible memory. Currently reading 4 books. I hate myself. Oh, I'm listening to the audiobook for Sadie, which I'm really enjoying. It's very intense and like hard to listen to at times, like definitely taking this in small chunks. If you're not familiar, Sadie is a young adult thriller about Sadie, whose sister was like brutally murdered, and Sadie goes missing after trying to hunt her down. So we're kind of following 2 timelines here. One is Sadie's perspective after she leaves town, trying to find her sister's killer, and another one in the future, which is a podcast called The Girls, where he is investigating Sadie's disappearance. It's very dark, pretty dark for a young adult book. And Sadie is actually sapphic, which nobody told me. I wish they had. So Sadie has shown attraction to men and women, so I'm gonna call her bi. Could be pan. Yeah, it's really good. I'm also reading Unburied Fables by Rachel Sharp. Is it Rachel Sharp or edited by Rachel Sharp? Okay, it's multiple authors. And this is sort of it's like retellings of classic fairy tales with queer characters. And I'm particularly interested in this because I believe there are a few stories with asexual or aromantic characters. I've only read, I think I'm on the 4th story now, and they're okay. I wanted to give this a shot because of that take on the fairy tale theme, but this is the second anthology I've tried of fairy tale retellings, and I'm just not super into them. I don't really like the way classic fairy tales are told because, you know, they're almost meant to be told out loud. So by nature, they're short and there's very little world building. And I just don't enjoy that a lot. I mean, they're not bad by any means, but we'll see how it goes. I'm also reading Yellow Jessamine by Caitlin Starling. This is the author who wrote, what's the name of that book? I really liked it too. I guess I'll just click on her name. The Luminous Dead. And I really liked that book, and it was scary and sapphic, and Yellow Jessamine is another horror. This one's a novella, also sapphic. So I'm only a few pages into that. I have no idea how much I'm gonna like it yet. It is 7 p.m. I'm about to eat dinner. I already had ice cream. So technically dinner is dessert, I guess. The ice cream place just gets really busy after dinner time, and we didn't want to deal with the crowd or the line. So here we are. I also just finished writing my review for I Hope You're Listening by Tom Ryan, which I was actually reading in my last vlog, and I'll be talking about in the wrap-up I have to film this weekend. Young adult thriller. I liked it. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was fun, but not super special. I just don't read a lot of young adult thrillers, so like the twists didn't blow me away. And it, you know, it's young adult, they can't get super intense or violent, otherwise it wouldn't be young adult. Though Sadie is making me question that. Okay, I probably won't update again until tomorrow. I'm hoping to get quite a bit, not quite a bit, it's not gonna happen, at least a few pages of the Beast Player. I'm feeling like a little slumpy right now, which is probably why I'm reading 4 books at the same time. That's what always happens. I get in a slump and then I'm like, well, I'm not really feeling this. I'll try another one. And then suddenly I'm reading 6 books. I finished The Dragon Republic a couple days ago, which is book 2 in the Poppy War trilogy, and it fucked me up. Like, it was so good, but horrifying and also just so intense. A lot of war, a lot of dying, a lot of death, a lot of like serious character development happening in this book, and also like I don't want to give anything away, but I could kill some people from this book. I'm so fucking angry at them. But anyways, I like that so much that I feel like it's making me a little slumpy. So yeah, while I eat dinner, I'm gonna watch some TV. Season 2 of The Boys was released today, so we're giving that a shot. You know, I'm gonna be honest though, I really like the show, and it feels sadly realistic the way like the superheroes, I'm not gonna summarize this because, you know, it's a superhero show, but the way they're like so corporate and merchandising and all that kind of shit that's happening, and just how shitty all of these superheroes are, just feels very realistic. But there's this plot line happening in this season where they're trying to redeem someone that I think is irredeemable, and I'm just like not into it. What's up? It is Sunday morning-ish. Okay, it's not morning, it's like almost noon. I did a bit of reading yesterday, so I figured I would just do my reading update while I put my makeup on. I also watched some more TV yesterday, and I'm caught up on all the released episodes of The Boys at this point, and I don't know how I'm feeling about it. It's like, there's only 3 episodes and they're new releases every Friday, but I don't know. It's like, there's this new villain and her name is Stormfront, and like, I just would have preferred like a morally gray character rather than a straight up villain. Another straight up villain, because there are frankly so many going on in the show. And like, all of the evil people are just so fucking racist. Like, can't they be evil in a different way? I'm so tired of it. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I guess the show is, like, it's super brutal and violent, and it's meant to be, so I guess I'm giving it that. I'm just so tired of that trope. Alright, in addition to TV, I also read Yellow Jessamine. I'm halfway through that, which is the horror novella by Caitlin Starling. I actually do have to do makeup while I talk. So I'm at 51% in that, and I'm enjoying it. Like, it was kind of a slow start, and I guess I'll tell you what it's about first. So it's a sort of historical horror. I'm bad at time periods in historical, but it feels Victorian, so maybe Victorian. And it's about this wealthy widow who owns a shipping company in this, like, small port city, and the plague is making a resurgence, and one of her ships brings in this mysterious new disease that doesn't look like the plague, but they're not really sure what it is. And there's a bunch of suspicious stuff happening. So, like, until, like, 40%, I was enjoying the writing because I like Caitlin Starling's writing style, but I wasn't, like, feeling the book that much. It just didn't feel very scary. And then, like, right at 50%, then it started getting really creepy and eerie. So I have higher hopes for the rest of the book, but it is a little weird that it took 50% for me to be even unsettled. And I don't know if I said this before, but it's also sapphic. Like, this main girl is clearly into women. It's not romantic by any means, but it's pretty obvious. And then I am like 50-ish pages into The Beast Player, and it's good. Not a lot is happening. It's like the prologue was super intense, and like a lot of shit happened. And then this chapters 1, 2, and 3 are very slow, and it's like this young girl who was, like, her mom sent her off before she was executed for her crimes, and this girl was found by a man in another village miles and miles away, and he just sort of, like, nursed her back to health, and it was not super interesting. And this man is a beekeeper, and this is a very personal problem that has nothing to do with the content of the book, but I have a very serious bee phobia. So the last, like, 10 pages of the book are just this guy homing his bees and talking about his bees and, like, how the bees survive. And I really am terrified of bees. I'm tired of reading about bees. So I really hope that shit is over, like, soon. I hope bees are not, like, a major theme of this book, because I'm gonna have an issue. Alright, what else am I reading? I don't even remember at this point. Oh, Unburied Fables. I'm in the middle of one that I'm actually enjoying. It's the one I've enjoyed the most so far. I'm right at this part where this guy has gone to rescue a princess, and he knows he's supposed to kiss the princess, but he's like, fuck, I really don't want to. And then this other knight shows up who turns out to be a woman, and they're about to fight for the opportunity to kiss this sleeping princess. I don't understand how people are able to talk and do this at the same time. I genuinely cannot remember what else I'm reading. I know there's one. Oh, Sadie, that's right. Whew. Sadie is getting very intense. When I'm done with this update, I'm going to turn it on again while I finish my makeup. And, like, I'm at 80%, and it is so dark, but so compelling. And, like, Sadie is such a great character. She's super complicated, and, like, you understand all of her motivations and where she's coming from with all of this. And I know Sadie got, like, a lot of people loved it because of the podcast element, but really that's not my main motivation here. Like, the podcast element is fine, but Sadie is, like, my number one driver. I'm really afraid of where it's going to end up, because so many people have said, I mean, I've seen a lot of reviews that say it's open-ended, and I know people that didn't like the book mostly complain about the ending. So I really have no idea what to expect from it, and I'm a little worried that I'll hate it. I don't know, I'm generally okay with open-ended, but we'll see. So I didn't actually just wake up. I woke up around 9, and I've been doing homework. So I'm, like, powering through that, and I'm pretty excited that for most of the rest of the day, I'll be able to just read. and maybe I'll actually do it instead of like the last 2 days where I just read like 20 pages. I'm also hoping I'll be able to, I always have these like big elaborate plans for the day and then time gets away from me and I don't do any of it. But I'm hoping to watch I'm Thinking of Ending Things today, which is a Netflix original based on the book by Ian Reid. I really enjoyed the book. It's a very short and quick psychological horror thriller. We're doing blue mascara today for no other reason that I just feel like it. It's about this couple that's going on a road trip to visit his family, and it's from the woman's perspective. And throughout this whole trip, she's like weirded out. Strange things are happening, but also she's thinking of ending things. Like that's the theme of the whole book. And I watched a review from, who is it? Impression Blend, who does really good book and movie and just like general media reviews. And she pretty much raved about it, so I have high expectations. I'm so glad it's Labor Day weekend that I have tomorrow too, because I still have to film my wrap-up and I don't feel like doing it today. So we're gonna do it tomorrow. I also didn't plan for it again, just like every wrap-up I've done for the last 6 months. I think planning for wrap-ups, scripting wrap-ups is just not gonna happen while I'm in school. It's way too much work. We're just gonna have to wing it. Now I have to eat lunch. I have no idea what to have. I think we have eggs. That might be my only option, eggs and toast. What's up? It is Monday morning, Labor Day, so I don't have to work today, which is awesome. Reading update. I am 95% into Sadie, and it's very good and also really hard to listen to. It's like the farther you get into the book, the more Sadie comes to terms with what happened to her. Like she's slowly coping with the fact that everything that happened to her really did happen, and she gets more and more upfront about it, and it gets harder and harder to listen to. But it is really good, and I'm afraid of what's going to happen. Like, I'm afraid. Let's see how far I am into the Beast player. Here's the thing. I'm 84 pages into the Beast player, which looks like this, by the way. The cover is beautiful. I love it. I don't know if you can see it, but it also has like some spot gloss. You can't really. The thing is, since the prologue, not much has happened. Like, there hasn't really been any action. I don't really think the plot is moving forward at all. I'm really confused. Thankfully, we're done with like the overbearing bee talk, so I can actually, not be afraid every time I pick up the book. But just recently, I think in the last chapter I started, we're getting other perspectives, so maybe the plot will start moving now. But at this point, I'm just like really bored, and there's been so much world building, and the writing is so dry. I don't know, and obviously I can't judge if that's like the actual book or if that's a feature of the translation, but I'm not loving it. I mean, things could change. I still have, good lord, how many pages? Like 150, almost 200 pages left. So things could pick up and get more interesting. There's also, there's one of the major themes of this book I can already tell is, motherhood, and I am not connecting with that at all. I just, it's okay. It's definitely, it's not a book for me, which is fine. I can judge the book based on its merit rather than my own personal enjoyment for my class. But for my personal reading, right now it's feeling like a 2-star, but if it picks up, it might work its way up to a 3-star. I doubt it's going to get above 3 stars at this point. What else have I read? I didn't read any of my other 2 books yesterday. So, yesterday my mom stopped by to deliver a birthday gift for me. If you didn't already know from the 2 videos I've done and how I won't shut up about it on Twitter, My 30th birthday was last week, 2 weeks ago. So she dropped off a couple gifts for me, and they were books. So I'm gonna do like a little mini book haul right now. I also went like full treat yourself for myself and got myself a bunch of books for my own enjoyment. But the two my mom got me from my wish list are Kingsbane, which is book 2 of the Imperium trilogy by Claire Legrand. I read this first one solely because of Rachel at Reads with Rachel, and I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, and I do want to read the second one. This bitch is thick though, like, whew. I don't know when I'm gonna get around to that. I also got Algorithms of Oppression by Safiya Umoja Noble, and I actually watched a TED Talk of hers for one of my classes, and it was so interesting that I decided to buy her book. And it's all about, I mean, really the title says it, Algorithms of Oppression. It's all about how like search engines like Google reinforce stereotypes, challenges the idea that search engines like Google offer an equal playing field for all forms of ideas, identities, and activities. Data discrimination is a real social problem. Noble argues that the combination of private interests in promoting certain sites, along with the near monopoly status of a relatively small number of internet search engines, leads to a biased set of search algorithms that privilege whiteness and discriminate against people of color, especially women of color. In this talk that she gave, she specifically brought up that in like 2011, I think it was, if you searched beautiful, just the word beautiful, you would get a bunch of pictures of white women. And if you searched black girl, you would get porn. And I was like, wow, that is super fucked up. So I bought this book. I hope it's great. I also, now on to the stuff that I bought myself. One of them was The Beast Player. I got this at a local bookstore. Oh, actually, I wanted to mention one other. Hold on. Okay, Song for a Whale by Lynn Kelly. And Allie from Diagon Alley on Twitter sent this to me, and it was so exciting because I wasn't expecting it at all. And frankly, I teared up a little when I got it because I'm a big baby and I have a lot of emotions, okay? So thank you so much to Allie. I can't wait to read this. It's a young adult book about a deaf girl. Yeah, she was born deaf, and she learns about this whale who no other whales in the ocean can hear and understand his song. So she tries to find a way to communicate with him. And it sounds great. And I've heard good reviews from a few people, so I hope I like that. And then, what else did I buy myself? Oh, I bought The Last True Poets of the Sea by Julia Drake. I've heard great things from a bunch of people. It's sapphic. I subscribed to the Rainbow Crate book box, and one of the items last month was from this book. So I decided, like, now is the time. Now I have, like, merch in my house from books I haven't even read. Okay, I also bought myself Darius the Great Deserves Better, which I already read and will be in my August wrap-up, which I'm actually filming today. So, let's see. Then I got A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne Brown. This is a young adult fantasy that a bunch of people have been raving about. I've heard, I might be wrong about this. This might be me projecting. It's enemies to lovers, and I'm just into that. And I've just heard really good things from a bunch of different people, so giving it a shot. My bookstore, I got these all at, well, I got this at my local independent bookstore, and it was like right at the front in one of her displays, so it felt like a sign. I also got The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. This is an adult sci-fi fantasy, maybe? Fantasy. I have no idea what this is really about. But a bunch of people that I trust and reviewers that I trust have given it great reviews. And also I loved N.K. Jemisin's book, The 5th Season. So I already know I like her writing, and a bunch of people I trust raved about this. Next I have Wonders of the Invisible World by Christopher Barzak. This is a young adult fabulism, so contemporary with some fantasy elements. I have only heard Cece from Problems of a Book Nerd talk about this, and she compared it positively to The Raven Cycle, so it had like a similar vibe with the magic. But if I remember correctly, it's own voices for gay rep. So looking forward to that. I guys, I really went hard on the treat yourself train here. Okay, next I got The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I think we all know what this is about. It's a retelling of the classic myth of Achilles. Wait, that's not even a myth. It's a retelling. It's very sad. So I'm definitely gonna have to wait until I'm in the mood to like bawl my eyes out because I know what's gonna happen. I'm such a sucker. Okay, the last book I have to talk about, I think, yes. Yeah, I think those are all the books I bought, is Hood Feminism, Notes from the Women That Movement Forgot by Mickey Kendall. This is the Feminist as Fuck book club pick for September. The live show is at the end of the month. This was also on display at the front of the store. I was originally going to read the audiobook for my library, but it was right here and it looks so good, so I just bought it. And I can't wait to read it. All right, that's it for my mini haul. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I have to read, I really have to finish The Beast Player today because I have to write a review for it for class by the 13th, and it's the 7th. And then I have 2 other books to read. I doubt I'm gonna get to them during this vlog, but I guess I'll show them to you anyways. So one is This and That, which is by Mem Fox, illustrated by Judy Horacek. This is a children's book. It'll take me like 10 minutes to read it. But this is an international author. She's from Australia. That should be fun, if a little basic. And then I also have The Girl Who Wrote a Shark and Other Stories of Daring Women by Elsa Ross, illustrated by Amy Blackwell. And this is going to take me a bit longer to read because they're much more detailed stories about different women. Dear Lord, that's going to take me a while. You know, I get to pick my own books and I still pick the shit that's hard for me because it sounds interesting. Why do I do this to myself? Oh well, at least it looks good. Right now my boyfriend's at the store getting donuts for us. I have the worst eating habits, guys. Do not take any food advice from me. You've already seen in this vlog, I got ice cream 2 days in a row, and yesterday I also had a donut, and now I'm about to have donuts again. Like, nutrition is a problem. I'm working on it. Slowly but surely. All right, I forgot to check what time it was before I started this. Let's see. It is 3 o'clock, all right? The Beast Player is so boring that I decided to clean my kitchen instead of reading it as like a break. It's just so, like, I already used this word, but it's so dry and uneventful, and like I just read 4 straight pages of world building, just like the history of this world and like the rulers from generations ago, and like not even just like 200 years ago this happened. It was like 200 years ago this happened, and then this person's kid did this, and then this person's kid did this. I felt like I was reading the fucking Bible. I'm not feeling it, all right? So, I mean, now I'm pretty much done with the kitchen though, and I don't really have a choice. I have to read it. It's for school. I already invested a lot of time in it, so I don't want to pick a different book at this point. I guess I do still have to sweep in here. So I guess I'm going to sweep. While I clean my kitchen, I was watching YouTube. Right now is Andy Reid's video. Yeah, it's not great. I did finish Sadie though, and it was so good. Like, I gave it 4 stars for reasons I'll get into in my wrap up more specifically, but like it was a really good, and I would definitely recommend it if you can handle the subject matter, like heavy trigger warnings for pedophilia and sexual violence. But it made me cry a bit, and I don't know, it was just really hard subject matter dealt with in like a really realistic and gritty way. It was good. I do have to start, now that I finished Sadie the audiobook, for my next couple weeks of school, I have to read, what is it called? Stamped Racism, Anti-Racism and You, I think, by Ibram X. Kennedy and Jason Reynolds. I think this is like their rewrite for a younger audience. So I'm listening to the audiobook of that. I already have it from Libby, so I just have to start it. And I will probably start it today. All right, I'm gonna finish this floor and then read more of The Beast Player. Okay, I just finished filming my August wrap-up. I got it done in under 30 minutes, which is amazing because I read 14 books, so I'm very impressed with myself. I have read like 40 more pages. Oh, you're really close to me. 40 more pages of The Beast Player. It is not really getting better. I've pinpointed another problem I'm having, and it's like this world is just really sexist and the characters aren't really confronting that. Like, this girl is living with this older man who used to be a teacher and is now being invited back to be a teacher again. And this is a school for boys. And he was like he thinks to himself, it's too bad she can't go. She's so bright and so talented. And then he says, if only you were a boy. Like, he says that so many times to her and to himself. And it's like, how about instead of if you were a boy, how about if only the school accepted women? Like, if only you were a boy? I don't like that at all. And I don't know, that might be a translation issue. Like, maybe it's not like that in the original text, but it is really bothering me. Okay, so I've read 10 more pages of The Beast Player, and I have another critique, okay? And this is something that I usually hate when people say, but there is way too much telling and not enough showing at all. And I hate that critique because sometimes you just need to tell and not show. Like, showing would just be a waste of time and take up a bunch of pages that are unnecessary, but like, it's happening so much in this book that it's overwhelming. So like, right now, our main character, Elin, is at this school, and there's one other girl at the school and they're becoming friends. So it says they're roommates, blah, blah, blah. Okay, like this bit. This paragraph says, rooming with her, Elin realized that she was indeed a very easygoing and kind-hearted person. Her only faults were a remarkable tendency to jump to conclusions and her habit of talking loudly in her sleep. There were times when Elin was jolted awake in the middle of the night by her friends shouting outrageous things, but the next morning, the two girls always had a good laugh over what she had said. As the days went by, they became such good friends that they felt as if they had known each other all their lives. Like, if you say so, like, there's nothing about their relationship that has happened so far. Like, we haven't had conversations between them. And then when Yuyen expressed concern for her like this, Elin was sorry that she was such a poor talker. Unaccustomed to sharing her inner thoughts and feelings with others, she had trouble knowing how and when to confide in her friend. Yuyen, who had been raised in a mountain village on the northern edge of Umoja's territory, appeared at first glance to be unconcerned by what others felt, but in fact she was quite empathetic and quick to notice when anyone was anxious or in distress. Like, that is a whole lot of telling and not showing. Like, there has been nothing about their interactions that say anything about their personalities, only what the author is telling me they're like. And it's so uninteresting to read. Like, I feel like I'm reading a textbook about people and someone is relaying what they know of their personalities to me. It is 8 o'clock and I have officially DNF'd The Beast Player at 125 pages. Like, that sucks. So because of that, I kind of have to rearrange my reading schedule for school because I wasted so much fucking time on that book that I'm now DNFing. So to replace that, I put a different book on hold at the library, and that's a picture book. And then another book I'm reading is a picture book, and at least one of them has to be a novel. So I'm reading Bone Talk by Candy Gourlay, and this is, what have I done to myself? This is a historical I think it's just historical. I don't think it's a fantasy. It's a historical middle grade set in the Philippines more than 100 years ago. It's about a boy who wants to become a warrior, and his best friend also wants to become a warrior, but she's a girl and there haven't been female warriors. And then a new boy arrives in the village and he is bringing Americans with him. So, I mean, I think we can all imagine how that's gonna go. This book won a bunch of awards, but then again, so did The Beast Player. I have higher hopes. I go into every book with high hopes, and you know, that one was just a disaster. I'm so sad about it because I bought it for myself for my birthday. It was like $22. All right. Well, I also started Stamped Racism, Anti-Racism in You, and it's good. I mean, the audiobook is apparently read by Jason Reynolds. Right now I'm still in the introduction, which is read by Ibram X. Kendi. And like my expectations are reasonable. This book has gotten rave reviews from a bunch of people, so I expect I will enjoy this one, and I already know I like the narrator. What else? Oh, I've read a bit more of Yellow Jessamine, and I'm hoping I can finish that one tonight because it's a novella and I'm already halfway through it, and then I'll actually have completed another book for this vlog. Because so far I've only done one, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to get some more reading done and either update you later tonight or tomorrow in the morning to close out this vlog. What's up? It is Wednesday. I'm about to close out this vlog, but I wanted to get a little farther into Bone Talk before I finished recording, just so like I had some good news to finish this vlog on, because I also finished Yellow Jessamine and I didn't like it. I gave it 2.5 stars. It was like, the best part was definitely the atmosphere, and Caitlin Starling is just good at that, like making things feel creepy and claustrophobic, but the plot was weird and didn't make a lot of sense and felt very like cobbled together, and like things that were revealed just didn't feel important enough to have caused all these events. I don't know. And then it just wasn't very scary. There were a couple parts that were a little creepy, but like I wouldn't even, it wasn't scary. I don't even know that I would call it horror. Like maybe a little. It reminded me a bit of Mexican Gothic, just because some of the themes, if you've read both, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you're only going to read one, read Mexican Gothic for sure. I loved that one. I also, I never actually said, like, I said I was DNFing the Beast Player, but I never told you like what the last straw was, okay? And I was getting more and more frustrated with what I was reading and I wasn't enjoying it. So I was like, I'm gonna look up some professional reviews and see why it was so well received. And I read a couple of them, and the book list review ended with something stunning cliffhanger, sure to be resolved in the next book. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? There is no way I'm going to read this whole book and suffer through it only to not even get a resolution. No, I'm not doing it. So that was the last straw. And then I also have been reading more of Bone Talk, which is what I replaced for this class, sort of. I mean, I had to switch some things around a little to make it work, but it's fine. I'm really enjoying Bone Talk. I already said what it was about, but a little more information. This boy, Samkan, he is 11, and he was about to have his ceremony to become a man, but something goes wrong, and the ancients, the spiritual guidance people of this village, tell him that his soul is bound to another young boy who left the village when he was young. So in order for him to complete his ceremony, he needs to wait or find this other boy. So that's where we're at. It's really good. I like the writing style. It's very, I mean, this is a middle grade novel, so it's pretty simply written, but it's engaging, and he feels like an 11-year-old. That was my other problem with the Beast Player, is like, this girl was 11 and she so mature. Like, even an adult as mature as her would have been unrealistic for me. Anyways, this kid actually feels 11. So I'm enjoying it. That's it for this vlog. I mean, it was a good time, even though I DNF'd a book. Like, at least it wasn't just like, this is boring. Like, I have actual reasons. I don't know when I'm going to vlog again. Maybe for Boo-a-thon. I plan to do that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm so fucking busy. I don't know if that's going to happen. But hopefully. I post book-related videos every Wednesday, so if you want to see more, subscribe. If you like this video, hit like. If you want to keep talking, you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Kelsey Reads or Goodreads at Kelsey Lynn Reads. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.